Well, Andrew, let me be the very first person to congratulate you on your victory this evening, tonight. You will take over the mantle of representing Welwyn Hatfield, a privilege that I've had for the past 19 years, after I won my seat on my second attempt and 5 times in total. I know that you will represent the people to the very best of your ability, and I wish you well as you take up the baton. In addition to representing Welwyn Hatfield, I have also had the honour to have served in more cabinet posts than most. From party chairman to transport secretary, home secretary, briefly, to business secretary, energy secretary, and of course, currently defence secretary. I want to pay tribute on that last one to the selfless courage of the men and women of this country who served in our armed forces. I've had the privilege to work with them. And there's no more important task for any government than to defend the realm, and my proudest achievement in government has been to secure that very large multi-billion-pound additional funding to increase our armed forces spending. It's clear tonight that Britain will have a new government in the morning, and I am extremely concerned that unless it quickly commits to spend 2.5% of GDP on defence, our armed forces may suffer, and so will our friends in Ukraine. If there's something that I'm incredibly proud about in Britain today, it's our staunch and unwavering support for Ukraine and its democracy, and that must never waver, even through a change of government here at home. What is crystal clear to me tonight is that it's not so much that Labour won this election, but rather that the Conservatives have lost it. On door after door, voters have been dismayed by our inability to iron out our differences in private and do that and then be united in public. Instead, we've tried the patience of traditional Conservative voters with a propensity to create an endless political soap opera out of internal rivalries and divisions, which have become increasingly indulgent and entrenched. Today, voters have simply said, if you can't agree with each other, then we can't agree to vote for you. We forgot a fundamental rule of politics, that people do not vote for divided parties. Now, for the sake of the United Kingdom, I very much wish this new government well, but for the sake of a strong democracy, the Conservative Party needs to play its part too, by recognising what has gone wrong and using its time in opposition to refresh and rebuild. The Conservative Party should have a natural advantage, that of being at our best, a party that mirrors the aspirations and hopes of the hard-working British people. But there's a danger that we now go off on some tangent, condemning ourselves and the public to years of lacklustre opposition that fails to hold the government to account effectively. We must not let this happen. We should be clear about what went wrong, put it right, and create a plan to present to the public, and then we must ensure that we present it to them in a way which means we can return within 5 years, not 15 years or longer. And finally, I just want to say that politics is not a solo affair. So I want to thank all of the staff and advisors who've worked for me over the years in my constituency, in Parliament, and in my many different ministerial offices. To my agent, Nat Chapman, and all of those who've filled his role before him, to the thousands of voluntary party workers who've helped me over the years, and of course to my family, my wife, Belinda, Hadley, Tabitha, Noah, my mum and sister, all here this evening, without whom none of this would have been possible. Thank you. I also want to thank the returning officer and chief exec, and the police, and the various different officials who made this election what it has been, which has been executed perfectly. And finally, a big thank you to the people of Welwyn Hatfield. I've been honoured to represent you in Parliament, which has come to an end for the time being. Thank you very much for your support over the many years. Thank you.